Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Rohit and I am here to discuss some basic physics with you guys. Today in this video, I'm gonna show how to prove mathematically that a taller bowler bounces the ball higher than a shorter bowler in cricket. Now we all know that when it comes to bowling, a taller bowler always has this advantage of getting those extra inches at the batsman end. In this video, we are going to see how we can prove it mathematically. So before we start, let's have a look at these diagrams. Let's call this diagram the diagram 1, which is the trajectory of the bowler 1, whose height is h1 and the bounce that he gets off the ground is small h1. Similarly, this diagram is the trajectory of the bowler 2, whose height is h2 and the bounce that he gets off the ground is small h2. Now, we shall establish some constants. These constants are the quantities which are going to be same in both the cases. The first one of those constant is the initial velocity, which is represented by u. We are going to assume that both the bowlers bowl with the same initial velocity. The instantaneous speed at this point, at the release points for both the bowlers, is going to be the same. The second one is the pitching length, which is denoted by L, small l. The pitching length is the distance. The pitching length represents the distance of the point of pitching from the bowlers. The third one is COR, which stands for the coefficient of restitution. Now we are going to learn more about this coefficient of restitution in the later videos. For now, let's just remember that it is the ratio between the relative velocity of an object after the collision and the relative velocity the same object before the collision. The fourth quantity that is going to be constant across both the cases is the acceleration due to gravity, which is represented by g, of course. Now we are going to discuss about our assumptions. Here we are going to assume that h2 is greater than, sorry, I made a mistake here, h1. So our assumption is that the bowler 2 is taller than the bowler 1. Now let's see what are the conclusions that we get from this assumption. The first conclusion that we get is the angle of projection in the case of the taller bowler is greater than it is in the case of the shorter bowler. Similarly, the time taken by the ball in the case 2 to reach the pitching point is greater than the time taken by the ball to reach the pitching point in the case 1. Now, let's see what our objective is. Our objective is to prove H2 is greater than H1. H2, which is the height of the bounce in the case 2, must be greater than H1. This is what we are supposed to prove to show mathematically that a taller bowler bounces the ball higher than a shorter bowler. Let's see how to do it.